The fallout between the Easthampton School Committee and the community continues amidst the controversial superintendent search. Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson joins us now live in Easthampton with the latest developments. Maria.
Chris, now some community members are calling for yet another city leader's resignation. Easthampton resident Kathy Wazinski says that she and others are upset with Mayor Nicole LaChapelle's participation in sending police to Dr. Vito Perrone's house on the night the school committee wanted to offer him the position of superintendent, and he didn't answer his cell phone. An offer he did accept, but the school committee chairperson Cynthia Kowinski later rescinded due to Perrone's use of the word ladies in an email. Wazinski began collecting signatures for Kowinski's removal several weeks ago. Now, ahead of tomorrow's deadline for that petition, the Easthampton resident is organizing a petition for the mayor's resignation. Kathy Wazinski calling their actions censorship.
The request from the community was overwhelming to also do a petition to recall the mayor. People are certainly frustrated with a number of things, including the superintendent search. This is about censorship. The way the school committee behaved towards Dr. Perrone was censorship. Not responding to the community and not hearing that alternate point of view is censorship.
Mayor LaChapelle responding to the recall in a statement to Western Mass News, saying in part, quote, "I am honored to have the privilege of being the serving mayor of Easthampton. The recall process driven by residents/voters and is clearly laid out in Easthampton's home rule charter. As this resident exercised this option, I will continue what I have been doing for the past 5.5 years, working to give all Easthampton the best quality of life possible." The mayor was most recently elected in 2021. Her term will be up in 2025. Wazinski tells me that they do have the minimum 400 signatures needed to keep the petition against the mayor alive, but they won't submit that paperwork until next week. For now, reporting live in Easthampton, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.